Thankfully, the investigators were building their case against Susan. And finally, on June 7th, 2023, Susan was arrested. She was charged with manslaughter with a firearm, culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault. Her trial took place the following year in August of 2024. During the trial, Susan's attorneys did everything in their power to try and convince the jury that Susan felt like she was in actual danger, that her actions were absolutely justified under the Stand Your Ground law.
AJ Owens was trespassing on Susan Lorinc's property. And Susan Lorincz was in her home where she had a right to be, and she had no duty to retreat. She had a right to stand her ground and defend herself because she was reasonably afraid.
But the prosecution brought up a lot of really great points in all of this, starting with AJ's sons, who testified as witnesses. They described Susan harassing them and throwing things at them, and another witness testified that they only saw AJ knock or pound on the door, whatever word you want to use, 2 times. It wasn't like this incessant pounding, like, get out here, over and over. She knocked twice. The prosecution also brought up the fact that Susan herself admitted that the door was shut, locked, and deadbolted. AJ wasn't in her house. She wasn't trying to break into her house. She wasn't trying to get in there. Not to mention, Susan had already called the police. They were on their way.
We heard from the defendant's 911 call in the interview with the detectives that there was some altercation between the defendant and Miss Owens's children. It involved a tablet, roller skates being thrown, an umbrella being shaken, something. The facts of that altercation really aren't important or relevant. What's relevant is that that is the catalyst. That is what causes the children to go and tell Miss Owens. And that's what causes Miss Owens to come over and once again deal with an issue regarding the defendant and her children.
After the witnesses all testified and closing arguments were given, the trial began wrapping up, and the jury only took 2 hours to deliberate. Then they came back with their verdict.
Verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find as to count 1 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that during the commission of the offense, the defendant personally used a firearm? Yes. So say we all, dated the 16th day of August, 2024.
The other charges that Susan had initially faced had been dropped, but now, on November 25th, 2024, Susan was sentenced to 25 years in prison. This for the shooting and killing of AJ. Her release date is April 8th, 2048, if she makes it that long, because remember, she's older. Now, even after everything was said and done, Susan still defended herself and stood by the fact that both AJ and her kids were threatening to kill her. And as for the verdict and her sentencing, she said, quote, "It just makes me sick. I just never thought in a million years that this would happen, and it breaks my heart. I can't take it back. I can't replace her." But get this, where that statement sounds like maybe there is a sliver of remorse, the "I can't take it back, it breaks my heart, I can't replace her," Susan is doubling down in my opinion. Because just recently, in November of 2025, AJ's family is filing a wrongful death suit against Susan. But Susan has stated she plans to countersue and that she's planning to sue AJ's own children for defamation. Are you out of your mind? I mean, read the room. It's disgusting. I can't imagine that it'll go anywhere, but it's like the audacity. Like, do you realize what you're saying? You're going to sue these children who lost their mother because you shot her through a door that was locked and deadbolted and closed as police were already on their way? The nerve of this woman, which honestly, enough about her. She will likely die in prison, or she'll get out not having much time left anyway. I mean, not to be morbid, but it's the truth. So AJ's family is happy that she received justice, and they are just taking life day by day. About 7 months after AJ's death, her son Izzy and AJ's mom Pamela did an interview. And in this interview, Izzy talked about his mom, about the movie she loved, her favorite color being purple, and that he was excited to be a part of the Netflix documentary that was coming out. They talked about how Izzy and Isaac were also going to summer camp that was dedicated to children who are experiencing loss and grief. Izzy said he was really excited to meet new friends. And I never knew camps like that existed. I think that is such an amazing idea.